review. Woohoo! Happy New Year! Today, on this episode was the Wilson Life. That was the point, not to warn you. Hope you guys all enjoy that one. That was awesome. Anyway, so this year in review, 2021 has been an interesting year for us, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It has been interesting. An interesting start. I had surgery and it got delayed and delayed and delayed, and that was interesting. The superstar of this year has got to be Jackie, because she did a lot of the footwork this year, because I spent most of the spring and early summer down. Most of the spring and summer I couldn't do hardly anything, which drove me nuts. Yeah, put on a bit of weight, which I got to work on getting off this year. But yeah, so I was supposed to have surgery on my shoulder and arm, in January?
Yeah.
And it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back.
It got pushed back till after Aiden's birthday in March.
Yeah, so it was the first of April.
It was like the 1st of April, April 3rd or April 6th or something like that.
Yeah, so that got pushed back. We had problems with the makeshift coop that was only supposed to last one season. Then we made it last like 2. The door's breaking on that, so we were forced to have to build a chicken coop in the middle of winter, and got it all built and put out in spring. Then that was kind of the kickoff of our year. That was an interesting project, but everything seems to be working well. Chickens are super happy. We have had some crazy cold weather this year, and we have yet to lose any chickens. Cross our fingers. Arlo's dreaming over here. So the chickens are happy. We added, another thing we forgot to add on here. We got chicks. And we raised chicks.
Yeah, we raised chicks this year, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A little bit harder. Well, not as hard as I was thinking it was going to be. It was a lot of fun. A lot of work, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, the kids absolutely loved that. That was definitely awesome. And I don't know that we're going to do that again this year, but I think we might do something like that every other year, where we get a handful of chicks and raise them. Chickens are happy. Chicken coop seems to be doing pretty good. Our big project for this year was dirt work. We did a lot of dirt work.
A lot of dirt work.
Yeah, that's when Jackie came in hand, because we got
like
dirt,
2 piles of dirt
and some
and
rocks,
then gravel.
Yep.
And it's not the small, tiny size gravel. It's like river rock gravel.
Yeah. So it's basically the tailings left over from when they sift out topsoil. So they brought that in, we put that down and put soil on top of that. We did a video on that as well. And Jackie did a lot of the work, because that was right when I got my surgery. It just fell right there. I was able to get a little tractor, and we did a bunch of work with the tractor back and forth and leveled things out. We haven't decided what we're going to do with that quite yet, but the sinkholes are all covered and everything seems to be going well with that. We added a couple more planting beds, so we decided to try something different. The cost of lumber and everything was so high, and so what did we end up doing?
We ended up laying down cardboard. I used trees that we had taken out from digging up, because we got the tractor to dig those up. And then I used the trees to level, or to frame out where I was going to put the planting box. And then I laid cardboard down, and then I took rabbit manure,
Some of the
chicken manure, laid that down, and then I used the stuff from the compost and laid that down, and then we had some extra leftover topsoil, and we laid that on top. So
Yeah, so got those all done, and it was late enough we weren't able to plant anything in them, which is totally fine.
I tried planting sunflowers in them, and they were doing really well until the wind hit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
we
happened.
So, which is all good because it allows all that stuff that we put down to break down, and then we will be coming back over with the fresh compost stuff once that thaws, and it should break down and be awesome. And so we'll just lay that across the top just before we're ready to plant, and everything should be broken down quite nicely and perfect for planting. We also tried some new plants. The ones that we had the most success was with artichokes.
And the broccoli.
And yeah, artichokes and broccoli.
And peppers.
Yeah. I think the one we were the most surprised with was our artichokes. They're not supposed to yield anything the first year, and what they yielded wasn't very big. I mean, I think the biggest one was probably maybe tennis ball size.
Yeah.
About tennis ball
About
size.
tennis ball size.
Golf ball to tennis ball size is what we were getting, but we got, geez, how many we ended up getting? 9 or 10?
We got about 9 or 10 of them off of
I think we had like 10 edible ones.
Yeah.
And they were really good. And they come back every year. So we're super excited, and in the new planting beds, we're going to be planting a few more of those. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. Another big thing that we ended up doing was we doubled our wood supply. As you can see, we're using our wood burning stove. We are using our wood burning stove for 85 to 90% of our heat. The furnace only comes on throughout the night. And then when I get up to go to work, I get the wood burning stove stocked up and get it lit, and that usually burns until late morning once everyone's up and moving around. And if it's super cold, Jackie will kind of keep it. She'll put a log in at a time and kind of keep it going, but just kind of keeps it warm. And then when I get home, if it's completely died out or not, well, I'll stock it right back up, and we'll start getting it warm for when the temperatures drop in the afternoon, late afternoon, evening time. So we did that. We went from like 2.5, 3 cords to just under 6 cords, and we have just about diminished 2 complete cords. I think we're pretty dang close to 2 cords. So that's been working well. We also picked up a wood splitter. That was an awesome thing that we were able to pick up. So that's kind of the big points that we wanted to hit for this last year. It's been an interesting year. For what it was, we got quite a bit done. Not as much as we were hoping to get done, just circumstances with everything going on.
But the biggest thing I think that we can look back on is the experiences that we had while doing all of this. Not only that, but our garden, we got a lot more out of it. We got 5 pumpkins that we've never been able to get before that ripened, which is
and they weren't, I mean,
amazing.
we're talking full-size pumpkins. Not these little ones. We got 5 full-size pumpkins like you'd get from the store.
And we had plenty of zucchini, plenty of broccoli, plenty of, lettuce and Swiss chard, and those are the things that we like. Our strawberries did fantastic this last year. Our raspberries are growing. They're doing great. Peas, good. We're going to work on some more gardening stuff this next coming year since we have more space.
Yeah. On that note, hey, let's move right into our goals for. As many of you have seen, I guess another big thing we could talk about real quick is the official starting of the Wilson Life LLC. So we've taken this idea of sharing this lifestyle and this journey that we've been making. We've taken it from just sharing it with close friends and family to, hey, let's put this out there. Let's allow people to see what we're doing and how we're learning and stuff like that. And in hopes that others out there will, one, either be inspired, or two, we can help with our learning process, and that hopefully it can help someone as they're starting down this journey at the same time. So our number one goal for this next year is to really get the ball rolling on pushing our product and everything out there, and to establish a reliable income. Not just one reliable income. We have plans for several reliable incomes. And so that's kind of our plan, is to get those all set in place and to get things rolling with that. Along with having to do that, that's going to require product lines. So many of you have seen the Paracord. That is one product line that we have launched. It was one of the easier ones to get pushed out there. It is one of the more popular ones. We've had fairly good success, and hoping to move forward in 2020, continuing on with that product line. Like I've said in other videos, that's not it. We have much more to come. And for us to move forward with other product lines, this is going to require us to pick up some equipment and make some investments on some things. One of the big investments that we need to make is some better videography equipment, and I've been videoing and editing 100% of these videos the last just about whole year on my phone, because my early MacBook isn't able to handle the processing of the videos. So that's been one thing we've been trying to work hard and save up for a computer, so that I and Jackie can provide better quality content. We are limited with what we have now. We have reached a point where our technology is limiting us. We would like to be able to bring better quality video and more content and stuff. But at this time, we're fairly limited. There are other equipment that we have to pick up. We're not going to go deep into that, but that will be part of content that will be coming in this year. Picking up and investing some money into equipment to start producing other product lines. Our main thing is handmade, local made here in the US. We are seeing so much that has been pushed outside of the US, and we've seen in the last year the huge inconvenience of having things made outside of the US and shipped in here. We really need to bring things back into the US. People really need to start back at hand making things, or at least producing stuff here in the US. And that, if anything we've learned in 2021 is that we need to bring things back home. Expand on the garden. We're gonna be putting in two more planting beds to try and expand the planting that we have. And the area that we are going to originally put our fruit trees is going to be planting beds. So where we put those 2 new planting beds, we're going to put 2 other planting beds right next to it, which is going to eliminate the space that we were originally going to make the orchard and that. But that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean we're not going to have fruit trees. Where are we going to put the fruit trees?
We're going to put them out in the yard where we filled, well, probably on the outer edges of where we filled things in outside of the garden.
Yeah, so in the dirt work videos, you probably have seen where I was pulling up stumps and pulling up some of the trees that we've cut down. It's going to be in that area. We'll probably clear out a few more of those trees, and then we're going to plant the fruit trees there along that area.
And then the next one, we're going to do a hanging herb on our fence, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna do all the herbs on the fence instead of planting them inside the like the planting beds, so we can have more space to plant. That way they get more sun, they'll grow better, and
yeah, so that's gonna be a fun project. That project is going to be made out of pallet wood, and that's all I'm gonna really go into. It's gonna require some investment in some equipment. That's all we're gonna leave on that note.
we're gonna go into it, and we are going to have fun while we do it. That's the plan.
Our last and final big goal that we want to be able to do is do some finishing touches on the chicken coop. So we've ran into a couple issues. The chicken coop is working fantastic, by the way. There are some small issues that we have come across, and one of those is the roofing comes to the very edge of the roofing frame, the framing that I did. And so when we get like kind of a horizontal rain, that rain kind of finds its way into the edge of the roofing, and then it runs down along the inside of the metal roofing, which then ends up
causing the chicken coop to get water in it, and then all of the bedding and stuff is soaked, and the whole bottom is a mess.
Yeah, so I've got to figure that out. I'm probably just gonna take some of the scrap sheet metal that we have and extend it past the framing by probably 3 to 4 inches, and hoping that will help fix that. If anyone has any ideas on that, we would definitely appreciate any comments or suggestions. I'm going to do a little more research on it. I think I just made the mistake of not extending the metal roofing past the framing. I think that's really all it is. There's a hinge on the nesting box that we have to address. It's just not working right. I think we probably just installed it slightly crooked. I would like to do some molding around the door and get some better latching on it and a handle.
Also find better feeders and things like that for them too.
Yep, better feeders and waters, because that's been a struggle.
Issue.
And then we want to get an automatic door in the chicken run. It doesn't even really matter if we have the automatic door this year, but we definitely need to get the chicken run set up so that we can have the chickens out and have the dogs out.
We've had problems with the dogs trying to get the chickens put away, and then one gets left out, gets miscounted. Mainly my fault, but one gets miscounted, and then the dogs get a hold of it. We've had a couple of them that have survived, but got pretty beat up. So.
So we've got to definitely remedy that, and we may end up having to run an electric fence around the outside just to keep the dogs
away from them.
So I'm hoping just throwing a fence up and the chicken, building a chicken run should help keep them out, but I'm not totally convinced that that's going to be the only thing that keeps them out. So that's kind of our main things. There's several other subcategories and stuff, but our main 3 goals for the year, build our business and continue growing, expand the garden, and final fixing touches on the chicken coop. So it's kind of our main goals. Some of the other stuff may or may not come, so we didn't want to really put it out there and get people excited, or we get halfway through the year and people are like, well, what's going on? How come we didn't see this?
It comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we will take videos and share them as we do.
Yep. So that is the recap of 2021, and that is our goals for 2022. We hope you guys have a fantastic 2022. And like always, if you like the content we're creating, like, comment, don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss out on this year. So with that, Happy New Year and have a great evening.